The Cheating Death Podcast is a comedy, random, information, truth-seeking podcast that contains information, subject matter, and language that may not be suitable for all listeners. Your discretion in this matter is advised. If you have any concerns, email us at thecheatingdeathpodcast@gmail.com. On today's episode of the Cheating Death Podcast, we discuss the Tuskegee Syphilis Experiment, a horrendous, horrific example of medical quote-unquote history. We also get into an all-new Annihilation Announcement, a joke of the episode, and more. So, dear listener, grab your blankie, put your feet up, and let us tell you how you can cheat death. This is your news anchor, the Cleric of Chaos, and this is your Annihilation Announcement. Over the decades and centuries, we have seen reports and statistics of governments putting their own citizens against the proverbial chopping block when it comes to scientific research and the analysis of the human body. The Tuskegee Syphilis Experiment was a control group which had 600 willing, at the time, participants, not knowing exactly what the experiment was for, only being told that they had, quote, bad blood, end quote, is disturbing, disgusting, and had no place in society then, and it has no place in society now. So as the future moves on and we uncover more clandestine government operations, all we must do is hope and try for a better tomorrow. This has been your news anchor, the Cleric of Chaos, and this has been your Annihilation Announcement. Willkommen, meine Freunde. Guten Morgen, guten Tag, eine gute Nacht. Ist deine Reisende, deine Ausländer, deine Cleric of Chaos, deine Allesfresser. Today, we discuss the Tuskegee Syphilis Experiment, which took place in Tuskegee, Alabama, over the course of 40 years between 1932 and 1972. The Tuskegee Syphilis Experiment was, as it was worded, an experiment, a study, devised by the Center for Disease Control and the United States federal government, as well as the state government of Alabama. The Tuskegee Syphilis Experiment was to contain 600 individuals, all being from the African-American male population of Tuskegee, Alabama, and given treatments to where they were told they specifically had quote-unquote bad blood, completely removing the overt racism and the disgusting behavior and abhorrent language in that one sentence. Understand that the Tuskegee Syphilis Experiment was a study that never had to happen to begin with. It was brought about by the Center for Disease Control and the United States federal government in 1932, where a control group of 600 African American men were led into medical facilities, were given injections, and told that it was to help cure their quote-unquote bad blood. 399 men were injected with syphilis in 1932. 201 of that 600 population group were not infected with syphilis and were intentionally left as a control group to ensure that the differences and the dichotomy between those affected and those not affected would have immediate and direct comparisons and results, leading to a future design, leading to future studies, and leading to future education, if you even want to call it that. This podcast goes on record to state emphatically and explicitly that the Tuskegee Syphilis experiments of 1932 all the way through 1972 were abhorrent, unnecessary, disgusting, disturbing, and completely abhorrent to the way of American life. To take 600 African American men and inject 399 of them with one of the deadliest diseases known to man, only so you could see what the results were like, so you could utilize human beings as a testing ground, so you use black people as guinea pigs? Is that what the disease control was trying to tell you? It is no way, shape, or form an acceptable study of any kind that this study took place. There is no justification. There are no positive benefits to this study on any level whatsoever. And the fact that it was made to continue for 40 years is staggeringly insane. 399 men were injected. At least 250 of them passed away. Approximately 40 of them are still in the record books as having been taken care of and cured, for lack of a better term, but we know very well that syphilis does not have a cure. It is an STD that is very vigilant, very violent, and it does not want to go away. So over the course of that 40-year period after being injected with syphilis, there would be test examinations, there would be follow-ups, there would be conducting studies to where growths, blisters, pus had surfaced to the bodies of several hundred men. And yet, there were no treatments. There was no assistance. There was no helping your fellow man. It was all done in the name of science. And there are only other comparable detections that one would be able to see as to whether or not they have a disease. They were then told that their detection was false, that they're okay. These boils, these blisters, oh no, it's fine, everything's cool. And then they died. And then they weren't told why. It is the opinion of this podcast, the director, the producers, and the host, that this was one of the most disgusting things to ever take place throughout the course of human history, regardless of whether it be American, European, Asian, or anywhere in between. The Tuskegee Syphilis Experiment was a disaster, a human rights debacle, and one that we hope never happens again. What are your thoughts on the Tuskegee Syphilis Experiment? Email us at thecheatingdeathpodcast@gmail.com. At the top of the program, we promised you a list of our top 5 favorite holiday cookies. So without further ado, let's get right into it. Coming in at number 5, we have pecan sandies. Coming in at number 4, we have turtle cookies. Coming in at number 3, we have Christmas chocolate cookies. Coming in at number 2, we have Christmas Oreos. And coming in at number 1, you all knew that this one was coming, the Decadent Christmas Edition. What are your top 5 favorite holiday cookies? Give us an email at thecheatingdeathpodcast@gmail.com. Today's joke has been brought to you by the Cleric of Chaos. I really like drawing in crayon sometimes. The wax hitting the paper, there's no feeling like it. I showed a friend a drawing one day and they laughed at it. They said, "Oh, that's a really terrible crayon drawing, man." And I politely informed him, "Well, if you don't like my crayon drawing, perhaps you'll like your chalk outline." The very notion that the United States government and the Center for Disease Control could be so evil and so malicious, so blatantly and so overtly, is completely bizarre even to this day. Let's take away from the facts of today's episode and understand that the very notion that you would take a control group of individuals and infect them with the disease just to feel a little bit more research into the field, you gotta get this in no way, shape, or form through your head that this is fucked up. This is insane. What the citizens of Tuskegee, Alabama had to deal with from 1932 to 1972 is an atrocity. It is nothing more than pure calamity and pure filth that was perpetrated by the Center for Disease Control and by the American government. So what is your thought on this particular study? Email us at thecheatingdeathpodcast@gmail.com. And thank you for tuning in today. Take care of yourselves and each other. The Cheating Death Podcast is brought to you by Nach dem Leben CRDVC, Chaos Storm Records, and CR Deutschland. We are available on all major podcasting platforms. Follow us at twitter.com/weallcheatdeath and twitter.com/Cleric of Chaos, and email us at thecheatingdeathpodcast@gmail.com and leave us a comment, like, share, subscribe, and leave a review. Please follow our friends at the links in the episode description below. And If you are experiencing psychiatric duress, please call 1-800-273-8255 or dial 988 from your mobile phone in the US or Canada. If you are experiencing domestic violence, please call 1-800-799-7233. If you're looking at adopting a playful puppy or a cute kitten, you can visit your local animal adoption rescue center. And remember, with the holidays upon us, it's very easy to find yourself feeling alone, sad, a little bit despondent. But understand this, as long as you're still breathing, as long as you're still ticking, there's still a chance that somehow, some way, someday, you might find somebody who loves you. Remember, we're pulling for you. We're all in this together.